Remember, Africa is divided into spheres of influence. The spheres of influence are the French territory, the Portuguese territories, the British territories. The Germans, of course, had been expelled after the World War I. Therefore, they have lost their territories in Dahomey, in Southwest Africa, which is Namibia. They have lost their territories in the Belgians, of course, are still present. And we did not mention that even in these struggles, we never mention Ethiopia as we should. Ethiopia was never successfully colonized by the Italians, whom they defeated at the Battle of Adwa. So all these are led in a manner that is designed to deal with the colonialists as they come. The British begin to succumb, and of course Ghana regains our independence, and the British colonies now are on the path of regaining their independence through political agitation in the so-called Francophone countries after the vote by Charles de Gaulle's administration in 1958, 1960s. We now see Senegal, we see la Côte d'Ivoire, we see Mali regaining our independence. The Portuguese are different. The Portuguese resist granting independence to their colonies until 1970s, because Portugal itself is led by a dictatorship, a military dictatorship of Marcelo Caetano. It is only after they are overthrown by Antonio de Spinola that we now begin to see the emergence and the surrender. And that is why in most Portuguese colonies we see prolonged guerrilla warfares. We see it in Guinea-Bissau with Amilcar Cabral. We see it in Angola, led by Agostinho Neto. We see it in Mozambique, led by Eduardo Mondlane and Samora Moises Machel. And ultimately, when the administration of Marcelo Caetano is overthrown and Antonio de Spinola comes in, then the Portuguese become independent. Of course, we don't mention the Belgians and what they did in Congo and what they then granted independence to Rwanda and Burundi, and ultimately the collapse of the apartheid system in 1994, because the apartheid movement remained in power for a very long time until, of course, during the administration of President de Klerk, they are persuaded and we have the democratic vote in 1994, and Africa in a political sense is free. But Africa really had to go through different phases in order to regain her independence. The rebellions, the organizations against taxation, the political agitation through political parties, and ultimately all the 54 African countries are independent politically, but struggling, as it were, to regain total independence in the manner that is in keeping with what Kwame Nkrumah had said in the 1950s, seek ye first the political kingdom and the rest shall be given. And they are never given. We now know that it must be fought for, and Africa is now fighting first, even to acquire total political freedom and ultimately economic freedom. That is the history, the sad history of the struggle against colonization in the mother continent of Africa. Thank you very much. The colonial history is always long and sad, and we have only put it in a small capsule.